Yeah.
Sideburns.
What's the word? Tell me what you heard. That info that we kicking, it be louder than some herb. Word, information, no telepathico. We gon' have to elevate your mind where you wanna go. Kiss Calhoun in the mix. Sideburns dropping all the beats, it's a hit. It's a podcast you don't really wanna miss. So sit back, relax, let's talk for a bit. What's the word? Spitting out the game that you need. What's the word? Make it say yes indeed. What's the word? Something that you wouldn't believe. What's the word? The word is for you to receive. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and you know we have some topics that we have to reach. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and we have a few topics that we have to reach. What's the word? 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 What's the word?
What up, everybody? This is your girl, Kiss Calhoun, and we're back for another goddamn episode of What's the Word? Your miss. And I'm being joined by the legendary, the one, the only, Mr. D.Jon.
What's going on, people? It's another week of What's the Word? And, of course, I'm so glad to be doing this with my girl, Kiss Calhoun.
The legendary. Kiss.
The legendary. K to the I to the S to the S. The original.
Hey.
No, you're not you're the original.
I am
K-I-double-S.
Well, I'm not the original Kiss, but I'm the original Kiss Calhoun.
Right, okay.
So today's episode is, of course, a great episode to talk about, to educate, and just to learn from in general. So we're going to hit it with what's our views on gentrification and how important is black representation growing up, and what's our views on overcoming generational differences. Of course, we're going to hit y'all with some knowledge about generational wealth, gentrification, and investing. And of course, you gotta wait till the tea, because the tea gonna be spilling hot like all day, okay? And I'm Eastside Kiss, and that's homemade, yeah. So let's get in. So, Ice, who is your biggest inspiration in life?
This may sound corny. Well, to most people, it might not be.
Beyonce,
no,
please.
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
No. But my biggest inspiration in life is, of course, the two most important women in just about everybody's life. I think it would have to be my mom and my grandmother, of course. Just because of, you know, how strong and influential they were in my life and, you know, their children's lives and things like that, and just, you know, overcoming the odds and just, you know, being those strong black women that they were raised to be. So that's what I look up to. Like, you know, that's the role models that I had in my life. I was raised by women, and I'm very proud to say that. And I'm, you know, happy of how I turned out, you know, because of both of them. So yeah, that's my two inspirations.
I'm pretty sure that's everybody's two inspirations in life, their parents or their grandparents, because, you know, they play a pivotal role in your upbringing. You learn a lot from those two groups of people, grandparents and parents.
Right.
But of course, my biggest inspiration has always been my sister that's disabled. Of course, my mom. I value my mom's strength from taking great care of my disabled sister. And, you know, overall, that's my biggest inspiration. That's what keep me pushing and motivated to do what I do all the time. Like, I'm not going to stop working because I got people that rely on me the most. So my biggest inspiration is going to be my mama and my sister. But my biggest overall inspiration that inspired me in work in general, I would have to say, is marijuana. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there.
I was not expecting you to say that. You caught me off guard.
Weed is my biggest inspiration, I tell you.
Oh, my God. I cannot.
I've done so many great things under the influence of weed.
It's true, though.
You never know when I'm high either.
I mean, it's like, because remember, it was a while back, and you sent me, like, the promo for the Better the Sexes episode, and I was like, you
could thank marijuana for that inspiration. I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I feel like in my darkest times in my life, you know, they tell you not to turn to drugs or alcohol, but I turned to alcohol when I was going through the darkest time of my life, and I didn't like the way alcohol make you feel after a while. Especially, it's easy to get addicted to it. And I was a big advocate against weed, of course. I never smoked and I never drank. But when I hit the blunt for my first time and I experienced my very first high, I loved it, okay? It inspired me to do so many great things afterwards, like creating this podcast. It inspired me to be creative, is what I would say. Like, it always keep me creative every time I'm smoking. Like, so I'm not asking y'all to go out there and buy you a pound or anything. It'd be like Kiss, but if you do, holla at your girl, because I'll come through, help you finish that. But, you know, it's been my biggest inspiration. It got me through a lot of stuff. And a lot of people do interviews and talk about weed and how weed is bad and stuff like that, but don't knock it till you try it, especially if you're not one to smoke weed. Mm-hmm. You don't know how it makes you feel, or how it makes the body feel. I mean, cancer patients smoke a lot of THC and hemp oils and stuff for the pain. So if you're going through a lot of pain internally and you smoke weed, it helps you. Now, I ain't saying go out there and spend your whole check on some weed, but if you're a person that's going through some dark times, try some, because, hey, it'll get you through it. Now, you might be liking it, you might be stuck a little bit, but weed has been one of my biggest inspirations to do a lot of stuff in life, and I thank marijuana for it. Thank you. Seriously, it has been. But I mean, that's just a little icebreaker. I mean, I like these little icebreakers I be coming up with.
So if you guys have a big inspiration in your life, go ahead on over to our Facebook page and post it on our the board or the wall, whatever they call it.
Be like, my biggest matter of fact, we're gonna start a post going, what's your biggest inspirations? And you could just let us know who's your biggest inspiration.
We would love to hear them and read them and, you know, conversate and chat with you guys about that.
Of course. But let's get this up to something serious, a serious conversation that doesn't partake in marijuana usage, okay? So, what's our views on gentrification and how important is black representation growing up? And, of course, what's our views on overcoming generational differences? So I'm gonna go first. I feel like gentrification could be, well, the way everybody is talking about gentrification is like when you go into urban neighborhoods and change the infrastructure, remove the historical view of it and stuff like that, and you change it and you add, you change the property value around, you knock down older houses to build bigger luxury houses, and you move the hipsters in that gonna afford the $2,000 rent, the $1,200 rent, the $1,300 rent. So that's what gentrification is, and that's very much live and true. But I think what people misconstrue about gentrification, I feel like gentrification is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't we do the same thing? If you feel like a lot of neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, are being changed to not necessarily mean better, but if you changing it, and then you moving out all low income people and stuff like that. All the black people that got money could do the same thing.
Right.
They could be buying up all of the. Why do y'all let people buy up y'all neighborhoods when the biggest drug dealers in y'all neighborhood have all the money? But they so stubborn and don't want to clean the money. Give the money to somebody to clean.
And I'm glad you said that. My coworker, she was saying, like, she just hates the fact that a lot of black homeowners, they are, they're selling their homes after Katrina.
Right, you
and
sell
she
your
said
home.
she wished she was more of like this activist in the community to where she can walk around and knock on black homeowners' doors and, encourage them to say no, to selling their homes. Because just like you said in the beginning, once they do that, it's like what they're doing is, and it's going back to them, knocking down the projects. That's why most of the people stayed here in New Orleans. And we're talking to our New Orleans people here about the projects.
All of the projects have been knocked down.
They knocked them down. They revamped them, and now you have all of these.
They had this little thing where if you used to stay in there, you have first dibs on getting back into it. But then there's a whole list of rules you gotta follow, and a lot of people can't go by those rules. Like certain projects, you can't play loud music and stuff. Like who not gonna play loud music?
Who not gonna do that? And then my thing is, and it's not just the projects; it's just certain areas where a lot of black people lived in this city, and then it's like they're moved out, and then you have all of these hipsters. These white folks stand in these areas that you couldn't even get them
and they got
to stay in.
Right. And then years back. They bulking up the prices. I'm pretty sure by the year of 2022, 24, the East New Orleans will be back. The East New Orleans is going to be gentrified. And a lot of people are going to start. I'm already seeing it right now with just buildings, and I'm just thankful that it's black owners that are buying up all the property. Like Judy from Kaleidoscope brought the strip mall, and she, not only that, just a person that stays in the area that you live in, buying up the area. Not even that, just Pat Swilling had it first, and if he would have never started building stuff on Bullitt, nothing would have been there. And we would have just had just a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Taco Bell. We don't have much. We don't have much out here in the East. But they have a lot of land out here that could be getting developed and stuff like that. So my thing is with gentrification, if we're going to gentrificate, why y'all don't allow these outsiders to buy y'all neighborhoods? Allow, if everybody in the hood, and I go back to the drug dealer. The drug dealers is the ones with the most money. Some of them are living in those neighborhoods, and their mama own their house, so they ain't gonna be moving. But you mean to tell me you can't band together drug dealer and clean your money if you see Miss Gladys' house is about to
do something positive with it. It's bad enough that it's bad enough that it's dirty money, just like you said. Do something positive.
I feel like there's no such thing as dirty money. I feel like people just put that on there because it's something that they wouldn't do. We always going to look at something negative and positive, but there's no negative and positive. If you're doing it a different way, that don't make it good. That don't make it bad. It's just that you're just doing it to do it. Now, negatively, if you're doing it to harm people, then of course you can decipher the differences. But people be so hard up on gentrification. Yeah, that's messed up, but nothing in life is supposed to stay the same forever. Infrastructures deteriorate. Storms cause some of these buildings to deteriorate. Sometimes, like Katrina is about to be going on 14 years now, and the East has still been Katrina 14 years now. So what's going to happen is, and all the black people that step in here, what's going to happen is somebody's from out of town is going to be like, oh, so they ain't doing nothing. It's been Katrina been 14 years and they ain't doing nothing in the East. Oh, let me buy up all the land. So then when they start buying up the land and changing stuff around, then we mad about it being gentrificated. But nobody is taking in consideration of taking ownership of their own. But I'm so thankful that I live in the East where so many people from the East are buying land and property in the East. My aunties own their beauty salon. They own both aunties own both of their beauty salons. So can't nobody buy them out unless somebody come with $1 million. They not moving. You can't buy them out because we in my family we think that way about always working for yourself. And I'm put it like this: my cousin always said he was never working for the man. And you know what my cousin did? He bought rental property in black neighborhoods, fixed them up for black people to be able to stay in them. He had car lots, car dealerships. He just overall an entrepreneur. So if we're going to gentrificate, allow black folks, y'all black folks listening to this,
right? If
y'all got some money, start buying up some of these.
Right.
Take charge.
If that's something that you are interested in and that's something that you would like to do and you think it'll make a positive impact in your community, I said go for it. We talk about this all the time.
Right.
If we had that type of money, we want it's some. I'm not gonna expose the things that we want to do, but it's a lot of positive things.
People be trying to take people ideas and
but
stuff.
It's a lot of positive things that we want to do within our community.
Right.
So it's
you have to understand the reason for anything that's negative is because something is negatively affecting change. Do you know what I'm saying? So crime is going to be crime, but it's going to be bad if there's nothing to do but kill each other. There's nothing to do to go to be recreational active. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if we start to buy our own land, I guess that's why they now in music, they're starting to say take black ownership and take control of black ownership. And that's cool, but don't go be like, I don't want the Oprah out there or Tyler Perry out there, but don't go be one of them and go buy land somewhere else and you from here. The reason why I wanted to talk about this one too is because, and Tyler Perry too, I don't care if you listen to the show, I don't care. But I'm talking about you. I don't know where his money go or what he do for the city by itself, but I know that we not seeing none of the change that you claim. He said a mouthful on the BET Awards about black ownership. But Tyler Perry don't even stay in New Orleans where he came from. Right.
And that's what a lot of people were, after that speech, a lot of people were kind of coming down on him about that.
Yeah, because you can't practice something you don't preach.
Because a lot of people don't know.
Something you don't practice.
Right, because we're not going to sit here and we're not going to say that we don't know. Because we don't know if he is doing anything for the city. But it's like a lot of people feel like he's not doing enough for his
because when you don't see it, then you're going to always be like, well, he talking a lot, but
right, but what are you actually doing?
Right.
Because we could talk. This is what we do.
Yeah.
We talk. But it's like, where is it?
Yeah, exactly. Because like you were just talking about how you brought the biggest thing in Atlanta, but Atlanta didn't make you. Right. New Orleans did. If it wouldn't have been for your plays at the Singer Theater and going all that, you wouldn't be what it is. And not only that, it's just that all of these major, even like, I don't want to throw them under the bus and make it seem like they're not doing it, but I just feel like they need to do way more.
Show it.
Show me you be out here doing it.
This is my thing. Because
Ellen, all of them is from here,
right,
but what we got is 14 years after Katrina, and we still living like Katrina was yesterday.
And I'm not knocking what he's doing, but I feel like all of this talent that we have in the city alone, we have singers, we have actors, we have models. My thing is,
y'all that could have been together and buy property for these niggas.
Or it could have been he could have created something here for those, those talented individuals. Because I mean, you have Noka. Noka only takes you so far. I mean,
right. And then not only that, Noka don't be accepting everybody because they did not accept me when I had to do my you had to do a test to get in.
Right.
I was an artist.
But Noka is just mainly for like it's for high. It's basically a high school almost, but it's a performing arts school.
Yeah, it's a performing arts school. He could have built the Tyler Perry.
So it's limited to a certain amount of people.
You know what's crazy? This is why I don't give Beyonce too much heat, because she ain't even from here, and they didn't brought property here. We didn't see
Solange settled here because her husband's here.
I mean, and then her husband is a big time movie producer, I believe.
He's a producer. He's something.
But they've been doing a lot for the city, and people know that they be doing a lot for the city, because when Beyonce brought that big old church and stuff like that, it made news. Like, you don't even have to do nothing. Just the fact that you brought the church in a city where it was torn, ran down, sit down. You brought it. It's an investment. You never know. They might have sold it or they probably flipped it and sold it. That's what it's talking about, investing. If more of our people invest in their own, instead of trying to go and live above their means. Like, what I mean, and this is why I said I brought Tyler Perry up, is because he from here, but yet he moved away and helped better a community that was already thriving. Atlanta is full of artists.
They have it already. So I feel like what more do they need? They have all of the resources. That's why a lot of people pick up and they move there, because Atlanta. The resources are there.
Yeah, they have plenty of beauty supply, plenty artists, plenty actors. Like that to me, they could call New Orleans Hollywood South, but Atlanta
that's the Hollywood
is really
of the South.
Hollywood of the South. Like, everybody go there, and in order for you to make it, you have to travel through one of 3 states: Atlanta, well, 4: Atlanta, New York, California, and Florida. If you want to get in the drug lane, but still, like, it's just. That's just the 4 major cities that you could get the notary. You know what I mean? You know, I got tongue tied just now, but you could really do some good stuff in those cities, and those cities are already made.
Right. I feel like you shouldn't have to, but I also feel like you shouldn't have to run and pick up and go somewhere else just to make it in life.
Right.
I feel like you should be able.
Mansion. Why you ain't buy a big ass mansion out here, and then
all of that money you got, you could have brought the damn land, and you could have got them to build it from the ground up.
Not only that, there's one piece of land in particular that I feel like somebody need to buy and make it into this big old thing. The old theme park of Six Flags.
Well, you know they're about to do something with that anyway. I know they're about to tear it down, but it might just be sitting there, just like a lot of stuff.
I mean, they had no.
It didn't sat there for so damn long.
It sat there for 14 years. And you mean to tell me none of all of these celebrities that's from here, that live here,
but see, this is my
all
thing.
of y'all.
But see, this is my thing with that. Six Flags, that's y'all property. Y'all brought that from somebody, because remember originally it was Jazzland, but then Six Flags brought it, and it changed. And it changes to Six Flags. So my thing is, why would you let one of your properties sit there for almost 14 years before y'all decide that you're gonna do something with it? I saw it on the news like a while back, and it was saying it's gonna cost a lot of money just to tear it down.
It's because they let it sit for so long.
Too long. So you don't know what you're going into. I'm
gonna tell you what you're going into. You're going into a lot of wild animals that then made that home, because the East in general is nothing but swamp and jungle area. Now, that's what they used to call, that's why it's called Little Woods. All of the back part of going towards Michoud was just
and when
woods.
you go back there, you can still see it's
possum.
Yes.
I seen vultures back there, but we get a little bit too far in, but still, in all, is a lot of stuff back there. And then, like you said, it's gonna cost so much money to tear it down, but look how much money you're gonna be gaining back from just
when all they had to do was no, but they don't even know if they're gonna rebuild it and make it a theme park. It's just probably just gonna be an empty lot. What
they said a while back, what they said they was gonna do is invest in keeping a big roller coaster, keeping a couple of the rides, but changing into a strip mall.
Okay.
With a baseball field or something over there. which is good.
Okay.
So
I
if you
can see
do
that.
that, people could go over there and ride the Mega Zephyr. My thing is, if they would have kept it Jazzland, the city of Louisiana would have been able to fix it back up and make it back into, because that could have been a landmark.
I wonder who owned it when it was Jazzland.
I don't know, but that's why we talking about our people always buying stuff and taking it and selling it.
So that change, and we're just like, you know what? Here.
Right. Yeah. It is crazy.
Where's my money?
But
I'm about to look into that. I'm about to see. I'm about to read up on that and see.
So let's get back into, like we were saying, like this whole theme park and Jazzland and stuff. So you found the information about it.
So basically, it was just it's owned by now, because it had like 3 different names before, but it's now Palace Entertainment. It's an amusement park. It just owns amusement parks. The headquarters is in Newport Beach, California, and it was founded in 1998. So it's not old.
Yeah,
it's something new.
It's somebody that own parks,
and they have a lot of parks. They
in California?
They have California,
Yeah, of course.
Florida.
So can
Georgia,
y'all come fix Jazzland, Six Flags,
Jersey,
or whatever you want to call it?
Right. So they have they've been having talks about putting this park back together and doing other things with it, but of course
they just procrastinating.
It's just talk. So
at the end of the day, you have to think about how much money you think about how much money you're gonna spend getting it clean, but think about how much money you will get having it up and running and people are actually being able to go. If you make an outlet mall and a movie theater and a theme park and just in general, that space is a big enough space to have a lot of concerts and stuff that you could generate the wealth from that and build the infrastructure around it and make it better. That way, the East will grow faster if you fix Jazzland, because that's the only thing that's really preventing people from coming back here and buying stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they trying, but they just taking their time.
Well, apparently, they're gonna. They do have the talks about that it may be demolishing it very soon. So.
But hurry up, because I'm tired of seeing wild boars and vultures and all that fly around there like it's Jurassic Park,
right?
Like they shot. But then we was talking about, because we could go on and on about gentrification and how that affects us. But we have to talk about how important black representation is growing up. And like I said, if you even look at Jazzland in itself, what it came from and what it became, is an important thing that we have representation for black people. Like as far as me, I have my own opinion about how I feel about black representation, because for me in general, I've seen it all my life. So of course I know it's important, but I have my pros and cons about it. But still, it is important for people who don't get to see it every day. Like they have people that really, like we just talked about how the projects, some people didn't know outside of the projects before the projects was the projects. You know what I'm saying? People grew up in rural neighborhoods and crime-infested neighborhoods that all they saw was black people killing black people robbing each other. But they never really saw somebody from the hood make it. And when they do see it, they envious about the person coming from the hood making it. But in a general aspect, black representation, black positive representation is important. We talked about how we see the dope dealers in the neighborhood, but we don't talk about how, like we said, Tyler Perry come from a neighborhood that was, and he made it out.
Right. I absolutely agree with you that black representation is very important. I really believe that our black children need to see not just positive, and just like you said, they have to see, like you said earlier, they have to see negativity just as well as positivity within representation in the Black community, because most of our children, that's what they normally see. They see negativity in their lives rather than positive. So I strongly believe that that's why they need more Black teachers in the classrooms to teach our children. This is no hatred or anything towards teachers of other races, but I really believe that our children need someone that's of them to teach them, because it's, I think that when someone's up there, hey, that person looks just like me, and they know, the struggle, and they know how it is out here for us. I think our children will take more of, they'll not take it seriously, but they will see that they can do certain things that these people are doing, right? Because if they're always saying negative, then they're gonna go to that. They're gonna repeat that.
Right. That's why we have more. That's why we have more drug dealers, more basketball players. Then we have teachers, lawyers,
social workers,
not even
that,
just people in production, movies and stuff like that. We don't have. We literally have, for every white director and producer they have, there's literally 2 to 3 Black producers and directors and people creating, wealth and jobs for Black people. Like, and when we talk about the T, about they having a female Thor, just in that, in general, they need more Black representation, positive stuff that they can see on TV. That's why you have children that say, oh, I want to be just like Beyonce, because to them, Beyonce is their outcome to being something great.
Right.
Nobody is talking about being the next Martin Luther King anymore. But, when we was growing up, everybody wanted to be Martin Luther King. Like, I was like, boy, Martin Luther King so old. Like, y'all in the 90s, y'all want to be Martin Luther King. But that's just was how much Black representation we had. For me, growing up, I tell you all the time, my biggest inspiration was Oprah Winfrey. That's why I got into podcasting. Because even though she didn't do podcasts, she did news and stuff like that. Like,
she was a reporter.
I feel like that's what podcasting is. We report information in our own
and we give viewpoint.
And I own my own stuff. I don't work for somebody. I do this because I want to do it. And I'm getting, my fan base is coming up a little bit. It ain't too high, but it's coming up. Like, people really mess with us in this stuff, and we keep it up. We could be like Oprah Winfrey and sit at the table with because I want to sit at the table and tell her to write me a check. But
and then to bring up just like another point, this movie that's about to come out this year in October, Black and Blue. It has to do with a Black female police officer that witnessed the death of a drug dealer.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
She's running. She's basically, people, they're trying to kill her. The people that did the killing.
It's definitely something that people need to watch, because sometimes all we get to see is men being police officers, men being presidents, men being firefighters, men being superheroes, but we don't get to see the realistic side, which women are doing the same things and risking their lives the same way, their opposite sex. But that movie in general is just about seeing a Black female police officer being hunted down, because that is true. That really happens. And it's made in Enola. Shout out to Enola, okay? So, but it's true, because remember the Black police officer? I don't know if a lot of people know this story, but they had a Black female officer that killed the Asian people in the East.
Oh yeah.
A long time
it used
ago.
to be a Chinese restaurant
right there by
with
Fantasy.
that Crowder.
That's the Wire.
Dwyer and Bullard. Yeah.
Like that's realistic. Like, crooked cops are not just men. Crooked cops is women, and crooked cops also hunt women officers. I don't know how many women officers are being killed at the hands of corruption behind the scenes. So definitely you gotta go see that movie because I can't wait. I forgot all about that movie. That they had that on the BET Awards. I don't know how we ain't talking about that.
It sure was.
Like, I can't wait. And Homegirl is running, okay? She ain't getting caught, okay? So Homegirl might be
October 25th.
Surviving, okay?
It comes out.
But that isn't in too, because if she don't die at the end of this movie, how many black women might come and won't be police officers after that?
Right.
I mean, I know I wanted to be a police officer at one point before they was killing us, but I don't want to be a police officer now. I want to stick to my podcast, I do the best. But still, like, so many people might want to be police officers, just like when Space Jam came out. Everybody wanted to be a basketball player.
Right.
Everybody wanted to be just like Mike.
But do you feel like we see too much of that?
Of course we do.
You know, they want to be entertainers. They want to be athletes now. Nobody really doesn't want to be like lawyers and doctors and teachers.
Because lawyers and teachers and doctors, that take more time and less money. Being
but
an
to
actress,
me, if you got to think about
gain.
it, but see, you got to think about it too. I wouldn't necessarily say that takes less time because if you're not good, right,
you're just not good. But
that's you ain't
what
making
people
it.
That's what people think. Like they look at, oh, you got to go to law school for what? I was in school for like 8 years. They think of 8 years is a long time. I'm gonna spend more money investing in it than picking up a basketball and make $250,000 just because I was good. But certain people don't realize that you're going to either be good or bad. And everybody not good at rapping. Everybody not good at singing, acting.
Sure the hell not.
Entertainment-wise, a lot of people are not good. But they're starting to get paid for not being good. I mean, at one point...
Because I could think about a lot of people off the top of my head.
I could tell
right
you
now.
a whole book. Okay? But
that I don't know how they got a damn contract.
Beyonce is in that list. Stop acting. Stick to singing. Okay.
Girl, you look ahead that glare. I'm about to knock your head with that mug.
I just had to throw that out there because, people was making fun of Beyonce.
But you see, another trend that's starting to work on my nerves too, and it may kind of get off a subject, but I cannot stand, and I don't care who hates me for saying this, but I cannot stand when people are telling us that we need to support our black businesses.
Yeah.
And we talked about this.
I know. I hate that too.
Let me tell you about this. I understand what you bringing up about supporting, but my thing is you have to be an appealing person and you have to be a people's person for somebody to support you. So if I'm coming into your establishment and you have this nasty
can't get mad at us
and this and that, I'm not going to support you.
Right. And then you telling us to wash our hair before we get here, Keisha.
Yeah.
I'm not about to play with you.
Like, this is what I'm coming in here to pay you for, to wash my hair, deep condition, set, everything. Like,
right, but that actually go along with what we talking about, how blackness is so beautiful and how it's also so ugly. Like, we constantly being told to support our own, but in reality, our own do not give us a
and they
good...
don't want to be right to support
Then they go about talking about, well, y'all don't do this to the big corporations, baby.
You know why? Because
the big corporations have been around for so long to know the pros and the cons of what they need to do, and they're going to do to fulfill the consumers. Y'all just getting into it. You're not a part of a chain. So, of course, you're spending more money investing in your own stuff than the big corporations. Overall, you can't really fault anybody. It should be support business in general that helps provide a better way of living for everybody, not just black people, white people. And that's why I feel like we need to stop colorizing everything. Support black business. I understand black business to the mainstream is not supported like it should be, but whose fault is that? Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Right.
No, sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, well, what am I not doing for my consumers to not support me?
Exactly.
I'm a black woman that's in this industry of entertainment. I don't know how many black people mess me over because they want something for free.
Right.
I don't know how many black people wanted video shot for free. And I'm out here, before I wasn't even doing it based off the money, and I'm still not doing it based off the money. But people will know that and try to use that. Well, can you do this for me? Can you do this? I still, like right now, I just posted on Instagram, somebody is going to inbox me about, oh, can we link up? I want to do this, that, and that, but they ain't going to talk about money. And see, that's why I be minding the business that pay me, because I don't got time for that, okay? I have to, put my hat on. But that's basically one of the greatest aspects of it. But also we got to talk about our views on overcoming the generational differences that we have. So, like we just said, like white people grow up different than some black people. Some white people grow up in the same conditions.
Right.
So how do we overcome the generational disconnect with ownership? Like we said,
I think to me, just like we said before, we just need to just have more positive role models, being in just general. And I'm not going to say
role models, but people who are willing to invest money into the smaller people.
And then us, trying to break those curses by saying and doing, I'm not going to turn out how such and such was. I'm going to do better for myself.
Right.
Because we need to take accountability for ourselves, and we can't always.
That's my favorite word, accountability.
We can't always blame it on certain things that happen in our lives before us. We have to take accountability for ourselves.
Right.
So we need to get out of that. Well, this happened. This is why the way I am.
Yeah.
No, you got to get out of that.
Also,
get out of there.
In one of our studies, we had like generational wealth and how Jim Crow laws and segregation really affected the growth of black people. That's what they say. But I honestly don't believe that even affected black people in a sense, because black people had, if that was the case, there wouldn't have been no Black Wall Street. That's why it got burnt down, because it was flourishing better than any other place in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, that one spot was making more money, and it was all black banks, black hospital, black everything. When we invested in ourselves like that, that grew the attention of some people who didn't like that. So they burnt it down and killed people and all that kind of stuff. That was back then. That same thing applies now, but in a different way. And I said in the episode a while back, we either gonna live in flight mode or fight mode. So you have to decide if you're gonna fight for your people and continue to build despite people putting you down and saying you're not gonna amount to anything, you're not gonna be anything. We have to continue the race. Like Nipsey Hussle always said, the marathon must continue in order everything to work out in our future. We have to continue to build wealth. If you say we don't have enough black business, we don't have enough black ownership, when we have to start teaching that to our children about ownership, and not just, the only way you can make it out is if you be a basketball player, entertainer. No, we need more educators. We need more doctors, lawyers, psychologists. I don't even know how much. That's a good I have to say, that's why black people don't go seek mental help, because they don't want to give their problems. They don't want to sit down
and talk to somebody else
that don't look like them.
That goes back to what I said earlier. We need more representation of us in these fields and stuff like this. I'm so
happy that when I experienced that and had to go to psychology, because I was in a car accident and I had to go see a therapist because I couldn't drive in certain cars with people. My therapist was black, and I'm glad that I got everything that I'm asking for. I've experienced it. So I want it to be more. That's why I'm always lending ear to people that need somebody to talk to. Everybody gravitate towards me because I know what it feels like to want that same thing.
Right.
So we need more psychologists. And I don't know how many times my mama told me I need to go to school for psychology. I need to go to school for law. I need to do a lot of stuff according to my mama. So I think that's what I need to do is go back to school for both so I could be a psychologist and a lawyer at the same time. I might can help you after you get locked up. But we could go on and on about generational wealth. Oh, of course we have the links. We're gonna put the links of
because they had one of them. The chick was talking about, if I can remember right, but she was basically saying how in her family, you know, everybody waited to basically be able to purchase a Maserati.
You know what? I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna
right because it was a good one, and she made some valid points about what she was saying. So
this is coming from off of Facebook. I don't know the person's name, but it's one of those. It's one of those audio clip videos that people tend to share over and over and over again. But the girl was saying how, just imagine if everybody in your family. She said basically everybody in there's always one or two people that have $1 million in their family. Imagine if everybody came together and built off to that 1 million to quadruple it. Mm-hmm. She said, I lived in an apartment because that's all my sister could afford. And here go the audio right here, if you can. Let me play it. Oh. Wait.
Technical difficulties. Okay, here we go.
Prosperous together. Did you, honestly, let's break this down for a second. Did you know that there's $1 million in every single person's family? Right now, you probably have 4 family members who are literally paying about mortgage or rent $1,500, well, this is short, to $2,500. I live in $1 million home. Do you know if y'all just sacrifice just 4 years together, y'all put a deposit and just pay the mortgage together and put the rest of the money that y'all was paying regardless to the side? Then you guys could refinance the property and then go buy something else. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's like we have to work in unity and togetherness. You know what I mean? When I first bought my home, we have a rule in the family. No one is allowed to buy something all of us can't afford individually. Right. So yeah, I was living in an apartment that my sister could afford until we all could afford $1 million property. I couldn't drive around in a Maserati until my entire family could afford it. And so that's important. Like we have to get together because we are.
And that was facts. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at it, that what she said also, if you do that, that could eliminate envious family and all of that, all of the stuff that every average family have. The reason why we have it is because certain family members have things that we don't have. I know I felt some kind of way whenever my little cousins got something that I didn't get. My mama couldn't afford to get me a car, but my little cousins got it. And then you have people like, oh, you don't got a car? What you doing? But how about if we all waited till everybody could afford a car, or if we all waited till everybody could afford a big house, or if we all put all that money together so that everybody could get a car. But that would eliminate a lot of envious cousins that'd be slicing tires and stuff.
But a group of people that do that, and say what you want about these people, those Vietnamese, those are a group of people that stick together.
The Vietnamese do it. The Arabs do it.
How could I forget about them?
The Mexicans do it.
That's why you see all of these damn gas stations.
We're the only ones.
You got Mexicans, they staying in a 2-bedroom.
White folk do it. We're the only ones.
In a 2-bedroom house. They got about 8 people sitting up in the house.
But we're the only.
But we can't do that because we too territorial, and we like I can't sit around you for all this long time. But not even that. In a black
household, it's more of who's gonna help pay for the house. So if you a 16-year-old kid, you got to go out there and get a job to contribute to the house. And 9 times out of 10, the parent is not working enough hours or making enough money to make sure they carry the bulk of the weight. So sometimes the children are reliant on making sure mortgages is paid and light bills. I don't know how many Keontae's 2 years old with a water bill in their name. I don't know how many. And that also create debt for kids who didn't even get a chance to build it.
My mama never did that to any of us. Put bills in our names.
I can't speak for that, but I'm just saying in general, like, that is the reason why. It's so.
But
that was what she said.
I can never get my words together. But it's so common,
right? It's very.
You see that a lot.
But that's why we're behind, and people think, oh, it's because the white man have this, the white man have this, the Indian have this. No, when the Indians immigrate from whatever part they from, one of them have a house. Somebody from years ago that came to America from, let's say, Iran or something, then brought a house, they established themselves, so now they moving their cousins. All right, now, Rahid, you gon' work, you gon' stay with me, but you gotta work at my gas station, and until you make enough money to circularize that money, the money have to be able to generate through everybody. Why you think they got so many Asians that live in a house? Because they're gonna work at the nail shop until they could save enough money to make buy their own nail shop. Now that's 2 nail shops in a family. Now you can move more people from Vietnam or more people from Korea or more people from China, wherever you want to go. Why you think they buy the beauty salon, the hair? We the most spenders. Black folks the most spenders, but they the least to invest in themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fault nobody but yourself when we fall behind because we don't think about investing in that like that. We think about buying Gucci belts and that shit ain't going. You can't put that in no safe deposit box when you die.
Right.
Buy some raw rubies and something to leave for your ancestors. The one thing I always admired about my family, especially a family in a country, we own our land. We own it. And it got to go through at least 7 different people before it's just going to be there. Like my great-grandmother had like 10, 12 children. She just died in 2009. 10, one of them, 9, I think it was, right after we graduated.
That's why, like,
she wrote in her will, none of the grandchildren get the property, but all of the children have to, until the last one die.
That's why, like, I commend, like, a lot of, black families that invest their money and, they're smart about what they invest in. Because my thing is, you can invest in stuff, but you need to be smart in what you're investing. You need to have the knowledge in what you're investing in. Because you don't want to just invest in something because it looks good to you, because that puts you in debt, that puts you in holes for years and stuff like that. So you just have to be smart about what you do.
I wish I could have thought smarter because, like I said, my 2 aunts own their beauty salon. I didn't have to go to school for criminal justice. I could have went to beauty school to learn how to do hair.
And you could have been working in the shop.
Working at
in both of the shops.
Both of them until I made enough money to own my own beauty supply. A beauty salon, or not even beauty salon, but beauty supply. I could have had my own beauty supply. Now that's 3. You got to come buy your hair from me. Plus, you could go get your hair done from my aunties. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather, he owned his own taxi, meaning he owned the number to his taxi. He drove taxi cabs. Even when Uber and Lyft was coming up, he still was making bank. So I don't even understand why a lot of taxi cab drivers was not getting the funds that they needed. But because Grandpa was definitely making bank. I think my
great grandfather owned his too. I think
so. It's like those.
I'm have to ask.
But you know what? Nobody want to be public servants anymore. They want to all be celebrities that get help from public servant. But that's where the money at. Transit. Go get your CDL license and go drive trucks. Go get your Class B, class whatever class license you want to go drive trucks, drive trains, drive boats, ships. There's plenty of work out here.
Right.
There's plenty of stuff you could be doing, but people want to be easy money and not work for it. But that's why they're going to always be behind and say we need to support our own. I'm not supporting nothing that don't benefit the community around it, period. Just like the big old church on Crowder that they built. You build a big old church, but who benefits from that church being there? That area doesn't benefit. You mean to tell me you got to go to church and come out and see shit? Like, there's nothing on Crowder for them people to come out of church. You only go to church 2 days of the week, Wednesday and Sunday. Like,
can't go sit down and eat nowhere because it ain't there. There's nothing there.
But you go bring your money back to Metairie or Slidell or Chalmette, where the food place is at. So how the East gonna grow?
Right.
But like I said, we could talk about this forever. We could talk about gentrification all night long till our face turn blue. But I don't know. We just gotta get it together as a group of humans and not a group of individual cultures like black culture, white culture. Because to be honest with you, we all struggle the same. We all gonna be broke if the zombie apocalypse ever decided to come. So I think we just need to be just thinking about how we gonna get out of that. But like I said, we could go on and on about this. But just, I've been waiting all day for this tea, but we had to talk about this whole topic in general. So I hope you enjoyed it. So just spill the tea. I've been waiting all day.
So this week's tea come from, of course, the Messy Shade Room.
Shade.
And then TMZ as well. Like we said before, we only trust two sites. The TMZ and the Shade Room. If it don't come from them, we ain't reporting it.
We ain't spilling it. Because I don't think it'd be real if it don't come. If it don't come from the Shade Room or TMZ, I don't be thinking it's real. Like when Nipsey Hussle died, I was like, I don't think it's real. It ain't on TMZ. And then when he died, I was like, damn, he really gone.
You got that notification from TMZ.
He got that. He really gone. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, spill tea.
So our first celebrity topic comes from the Shade Room.
100K on his neck.
Yes. So Kevin Garnett reportedly ordered to pay $100,000 a month in child and spousal support. So how much is too much for child and spousal support? Well, when you're an accomplished NBA player, $100,000 sounds just about right to a judge. According to court documents obtained by the Blast, Kevin Garnett was ordered to pay his estranged wife, Brandy Garnett, $100,000 a month to cover spousal and child support. This may be temporary, as the order is only valid until they put a permanent deal in place. Brandy filed for divorce early this year and sought physical custody of their two children, Kaval and Capri, if I said that correctly. Kevin responded with his own filing for joint legal and physical custody of the kids. Kevin apparently also asked the court to remove the spousal support for Brandy, as the couple signed a prenup a month before they got married. Brandy is, however, fighting the prenup and claiming that Kevin violated the terms of the agreement. Brandy reportedly claims that the prenup stated that almost everything would be his, adding that she would only receive an initial payment of $500,000 or $500,000 or $1 million. Brandy believes he violated the terms of the agreement because, according to her, Kevin was supposed to fund a joint account with $12 million that they would split equally in the event that they separated. Brandy apparently claims that the account wasn't what it was said to be, claiming there was nearly nothing in there. We will keep y'all posted on this tea because it is Lipton, baby.
Lipton hot, okay?
My thing is with this whole thing, and I hate when this stuff happens when, couples that have been together for a long time, and then, of course, they divorce, and then money gets involved and stuff like that. To me, she shouldn't have signed no damn prenup if, that was the case. My thing is, she is old. That, to me, I believe she should get more because... she's raising two children. I don't know if there are two boys, but she's raising children. Mm-hmm. So, of course, she's going to need that spousal support and she's going to need that child support. Mm-hmm. I believe they should just really sit down and come to agreement on, something that's feasible and reasonable. Right. And I think that'll be okay.
At the end of the day, like everybody, I know they're gonna have a lot of people, but like, no, she don't need that because, you know, she ain't making that much, so why she need that much? But this is the thing: when you date or marry NBA player, NFL player, anybody in the entertainment that make over $1 million, that's a lifestyle that they have to put into. So yeah, that joint account they had probably did swindle
What she said,
away.
it was never.
It never got.
It was supposed to be 12 million, but the account was never open, or like they were saying that the money was never put into it. So,
but see, that's the thing. That's what when it's just a slippery slope with this one, because like I said, that's why I always preach about getting your own, doing your own. Like you don't rely on his money, because he already gonna be bitter now. Y'all separated, and he don't feel like you need to be entitled of any of his money. But a lot of men gotta understand, when you lay with a woman, you get her pregnant. Just know you're not only contributing to the lifestyle of your children, because they're famous children now. You want their mama to just be stuck out raising famous children alone without the same income? It's different when it was two incomes, or if it was his income. Right. But now she's separated. Right. She and can't.
He's saying to take he wants the spousal stuff to be taken out because they signed the prenup. Quote unquote.
That I feel like should, because if she did sign a prenuptial agreement, technically she ain't entitled to nothing.
But she's fighting it because he broke the terms. They're not saying what the terms were.
So we need to know these terms, because if he broke it. Then
she needs the spousal support.
Right, but
if you broke the term.
But if you signed it, it don't. It's not involved.
Maybe it was the joint account. Maybe that was the terms that was broken. The joint account.
But still, in all, money brings greed and envy, and that's why they be like, "Oh, he ordered." Now it's obvious she had to go to court, and she had some evidence for him to be ordered to pay that much, but. Still in all, like, we gotta stop using money and holding that over the man head or woman head, because a lot of people like to preach that, but women are paying child support too to men that didn't have a lifestyle before they met her. Halle Berry is definitely paying child support. And all she wanted was a baby. She didn't want the drama.
Spears.
And she went to shaving her head because she had went through a nervous breakdown. Who else? A lot of women paying child support equally than men. Like, you just don't show women and men the differences.
Children. But we talking about child support. If we're talking about spousal, Mary J. Blige, she's paying spousal support for her husband.
She's paying spousal support, and he the one who cheated. So he the one who broke the agreement. And they tried to make her pay child support for a child that wasn't hers. So let's not call a kettle black. So if Kevin got to pay it, hey, Kevin, pay your child support, okay? Because you brought it on yourself. Right. That's why we tell y'all to watch who y'all have sex with and who y'all have babies with.
She's older. I don't know how long they've been married, but I mean, fuck, she got kids with him.
Exactly.
She's entitled to everything
so that
she asking
money.
for.
This ain't got nothing to do with
$100,000 ain't nothing to you.
It's got everything to do with you being a major baller. Kevin Garnett, the name Kevin Garnett itself. You lucky she ain't do a Tina and kept the name. Because Tina kept the name, and Ike wasn't getting paid for nothing after that. Okay? But okay, we talked about how black representation is important. We got us a little Thor Isha now. We got a Thor Isha. We don't got a Thor. We got a Thor Isha now.
Tess Thompson will play Marvel's first LGBTQ plus superhero in the next Thor film. So can we get a yes for representation? Marvel Studios is giving a platform to queer people of color by having Tess Thompson's and I am going to butcher this character's name, but it's Valkyrie character be its first LGBTQ hero. The news was revealed during Marvel Studios Hall H panel at Comic-Con this weekend, according to Hollywood Reporter. At the end of the Avengers Endgame, we apologize if we're spoiling anything, but I know most of y'all have seen it by now. Valkyrie assumed the role of ruler of New Asgard, the town populated by refugee Asgardians. As new king of Asgard, she needs to find her queen. That will be the first order of business, Tess said during the panel. She was obviously talking about Valkyrie, who will be appearing in the fourth Thor film, Thor: Love and Thunder. The movie will also see the return of Chris Hemsworth as the Norse god. This isn't the first time Tess has openly talked about her character's sexuality. She said in an interview with Rolling Stone that director Taki W pitched her the character as being bisexual, as she is portrayed in the comic books. But the last Thor film itself did not address her sexuality, and now here new comments suggest that will change in the new film. Marvel having a gay superhero should come as no surprise to fans, as Marvel Studios head Kevin F. has long promised the MCU would include an LGBTQ plus hero. Filmmakers, the Russo brothers, including the studio's first openly gay character, but not a hero in Avengers Endgame. Co-director Joe Russo played a gay man, lamenting the loss of his partner in Captain America's lead therapy session. Mm-hmm. We've done 4 of these films, and it was incredibly important to us to have a gay character represented somewhere in one of these 4 films, Joe Russo told The Hollywood Reporter ahead of Endgame's release. We felt so strongly about it that I wanted to play that character in the film. So what are your thoughts on the new Thor film and that, having a
I
gay
feel like
superhero?
It's not just a gay superhero, because we've seen a lot of gay superheroes. I mean, well, I've seen it. You could call RuPaul a superhero if you want to. For real. She really is. Like, y'all just don't know. RuPaul is definitely paved the way for this to even be. You know what I'm saying? If you want to look at it, just in TV, seeing that person. But having a female, there's not a lot of lesbian.
Is Tess Thompson, she gay?
Yes. She go with Janelle Monáe. She go with Janelle Monáe.
Oh.
Yes. Right. That's Janelle lady.
My queer sister.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But there's not a lot of gay female roles in general. Mm-hmm. Because one, that is just over-sexualized. Men get heated when they see that, But just to see a female Thor, whether she's gay or not, just to see a female Thor is just gonna... And just to see a gay female Thor is gonna have gay women wanting to be different and straight women wanting to be superheroes. We had females just they got the Thor. They just casted another woman, 007. 007 is a black woman.
Sure is.
You know how long 007 been? And they was heated about Idris Elba playing, but now we got a female playing 007. Like, I don't want to take too much away, but just female representation in general, as far as gay, straight, whatever. It's just a good look thing. Because some people are going to inspire to be them. Just like I said, RuPaul coming on. RuPaul was the first openly drag queen that could be on TV that nobody really didn't play with like that. They never played with RuPaul.
And it's so weird that you brought that up, because he talked about, like, when the beginning of the show, that I want to say that first season, they filmed that in his garage, I think he said. Okay. Yeah, so, he's come a long way to...
He's came a long way.
10 seasons later. Not even 10. 10, and then he got, like, 4 All-Star seasons.
Yeah, he got, like, 14
so it's like,
seasons all over. But overall, that's just representation.
It's really good.
It's
To me,
really good.
Endgame, like the end of Endgame.
I haven't seen any of those though.
It broke so many
not a
barriers
Marvel fan.
because they're gonna have a black Captain America.
Oh,
Anthony
okay.
Mackie's the black Captain America, and a lot
Shout
of people.
out to New Orleans because we is coming. Anthony Mackie, cousin, I see you.
That's my man.
That's cousin.
But he's gonna be the black Captain America, and a lot of people, they wasn't happy about that too.
We got a black
Ariel.
Like, oh my God.
It's just like, damn, let black people be great.
I can't wait till we see an Asian Thor or an Asian, I want to see all the races and all the sexes come up. Like, everybody need their time. We need an Asian Captain America, an Asian Superman.
I don't think they're going to go that far.
We need to, though. It'll be funny. Like, I want to see it. I want to, not just being, like, culturally funny, but just to see an Asian. We know Asians could fight. Don't play with them. Like
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee.
And they the major Jet Li, any Asian could fight. That's all I'm saying. I just don't play with them. I want to see them. I want to see them win. I want to see all the sexes win. But can somebody please free my brother from the prisons of Sweden? What's going on with ASAP
Man
now?
accused of assaulting ASAP Rocky won't be charged by Swedish police prosecutors. What a coincidence!
Of course.
So,
but he started the whole beat. He started his own beating, but y'all won't hold him in jail. Free him before his perm swill up. I told y'all he gotta be free.
Girl, that perm is probably already tore up. Well, the A$AP Rocky legend saga just got a lot more complicated. Despite A$AP still being detained by Swedish authorities, it has now been confirmed that the man he accused of initially assaulting him will not be charged by prosecutors of any crime. According to THR, A$AP is still attempting to be freed by Swedish authorities to do assault charges, but the man he says indicted the incident. Oh no. I'm sorry. The incident is fully clear. The prosecutors made the decision after watching the video footage from the incident and decided that the man in question acted in self-defense, of course, when he hit one of A$AP's bodyguards with his headphones. Additionally, A$AP is still under investigation as Swedish prosecutors are expected to determine his fate this week, either deciding to formally charge him with assault or release him back to the United States. A$AP's legal outcome could depend on Sweden's interpretation of self-defense, which differs
from America
greatly from the legal interpretation in the United States. Mm-hmm. Under Chapter 24 of the Swedish Criminal Code, it is lawful to intervene to prevent and initiate or implement criminal acts on persons or property, but using excessive force, even in self-defense, can be a criminal offense. Donald Trump's stated last week that he was in touch with Swedish Prime Minister in the hopes of getting A$AP released. Several celebrities have also championed his release, including Kanye West and his wife Kim Kardashian.
We didn't ask y'all to get him out.
The office of the Swedish Prime Minister had this to say about the talks with Trump. The Swedish Prime Minister had a friendly and respectful conversation with Trump, lasting about 20 minutes, in which he
ain't getting out.
In which he underlined that in Sweden,
he ain't getting out with no 20-minute conversation. Everyone
is equal before the law, and that the government cannot and will not attempt to influence the legal proceedings. A$AP Rocky has been detained by Swedish authorities since July 12th.
He ain't
So
been
what do
in
y'all
there
think
for too
about
long.
this latest
He only been in there for
development?
two and a half weeks.
Just like when we talked about it, they have like each country has like these
Their own set of rules and all that. They don't go by America's set of rules.
Let this boy go.
Not just that.
Just do it like he can't come to. He's banned from Sweden.
And that's what I think is going to end up happening.
Just do that.
That's what's going to end up happening. But look, me being a criminal justice, I have to tell y'all that you can't be a celebrity and go like the thing said. It was excessive force. One thing is smacking a person upside the head, telling them to go about their business and stuff like that. Another different is beating him up with 5 other people beating him up. That's what excessive force is, which is different from here because excessive force is used all the time and you're getting off killing people left or right.
Right.
So we can't necessarily get mad at Sweden for doing what they have to do as far as their, not constitution, but their laws out there. They have to protect everybody. And it's obvious that they're going to set some people as an example.
But
if Jay-Z didn't get them out, so what they tell you?
But
and he getting everybody out.
Because I saw this on Hot Topics yesterday where I forgot the man's name and I wanted to pick that up, but it was I want to say he was a musician and of course a white musician. He got into some trouble in Sweden, but he was let go just days later. So he made a comment saying that,
Race.
basically is a racial thing, and he feels like ASAP should have been treated the same way as his. That he should have just been released.
Here's the thing: this is not ASAP Rocky's first time having a tussle with paparazzi or anything. So that's why I say people look at your past, people look at everything you do. Why you think, put it like this, for a good example, if Youngboy would have went to Sweden, he would be getting the same thing getting done to him because they know his history of getting into fights or getting into stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. A$AP Rocky's team is always getting into something. He either gonna smack you or whatever. Just like the baby shot somebody. He didn't get off for shotting some. He got off for it being a self-defense, but he didn't really. He still have. I think he can't. I gotta look more into that, but still, in all, the rules here don't apply everywhere else. Right. So sometimes our musicians and artists, if you want to put it about race, cool. But still, we got to stop doing stuff and going to these places, put money into these pockets. But that's ultimately what's going to end up happening. He probably is going to be banned from Sweden and can't. But he's not going to want to go back after being treated the way he been treated. But everybody has a right.
And then his fans going to have to suffer because they won't be able to have concerts.
They'll just have to fly to the next country.
Yep.
But that's what I wanted to say. Like, we have to take accountability for the stuff that we do. And there's so many things that he could have handled that situation differently, and he didn't. And you have to think about you're the moneymaker. Now that you're in jail, nobody's eating right now because you're in jail. But everybody has a right to due process as well. And that was the problem. They were preventing him from speaking to counsel from his country. They was locking him up without having representation from his country.
Right.
So that is the major thing that's wrong here. They have to let him have his consultation. Right. Even if you're going to extradite him and ban him from the country, do that. But you can't hold somebody over a fight. What you going to give him?
Right.
The person didn't die.
Right.
The person didn't sound like they pressing charges.
They not.
So it's like, let him go because his sperm is not going to last long in Sweden. We need to be in America where all the beauty supply stores at. But
moving along,
free ASAP. That's crazy. Free ASAP. I'm fucking joke. Oh, I done cursed and everything.
So R.Kelly's crisis manager says he personally would not leave his daughter alone with the singer. So the accusations being made against R.Kelly have surely caught up to him. While he is sitting behind bars, his team is working overtime to maintain his innocence. Kel's crisis manager, Darrell Johnson, and he looks every bit of says he is innocent in the evidence doesn't convict him, but Darrell's stance isn't too convincing after a recent interview. In an interview on CBS this morning, Darrell speaks about everything from R. Kelly's expenses to his past accusations. Darrell says he sees Kells as any normal person leading a normal life, but when asked about his own daughter, his tune changed. Gayle King explicitly asked Darrell if he would leave his 20-year-old daughter around R. Kelly, and Darrell says, absolutely not. I wouldn't leave my daughter with anybody that's accused of being a pedophile. Darrell says, I'm going to say it again, I wouldn't leave my daughter with anyone who is accused of being a pedophile.
But you're going to work with one. Okay.
Darrell's position to the question is agreeing condescension to everything else he says in the interview. He tells Gayle that R. Kelly is an innocent man despite the accusations. Darrell does, however, mention R. Kelly is afraid of being convicted and is in a bad mental state. I'm concerned about Mr. Kelly. He says he's a mess, and I would assume he's under suicide watch at this point. It's almost as if a jury has convicted him. He adds that his concern for R. Kelly goes beyond his emotional state, but he fears he could harm himself in jail. When you're in the state of mind that Mr. Kelly is in right now, any person will want the authorities to be cautious of the situation. He says, I am absolutely concerned he might harm himself. As we previously reported, R. Kelly was arrested almost 2 weeks ago on sex trafficking charges. Since then, there have been reported of authorities having possession of 20 sex tapes alleged involving R. Kelly and underage girls. R. Kelly is set to appear before federal courts in Brooklyn in next month, and of course, we will be following that story.
But here's the thing.
To me, it's
very contradictory. You said he's an innocent person,
right,
but yet you saying you wouldn't leave your daughter around somebody that's accused. So if you,
it's almost
you're
like
innocent until proven guilty. So you just said that he's innocent, but you wouldn't leave your daughter around somebody that's being accused. That don't make sense to me. If he's innocent to you, then it don't matter if he's been accused of anything. You believe he's innocent. But to say you wouldn't leave your daughter around him makes it believe that he's not innocent.
What he could have said that I have personal beliefs, but I will leave my personal beliefs, my personal life out of this situation because
I'm a professional lawyer, professional whoever.
And you representing this man. So it's like, how could you?
And then not only that, you just step down, so that further proves that he's been guilty of doing things. And of course, if he on suicide watch or harming himself, he in a bad mental state. He's only there because he put himself there.
Nobody did that to him.
Nobody didn't ask him to go pick up 16, 15-year-old girls because they had plenty of 22, 23, 24.
That was throwing a new chat.
That was throwing him. He didn't want that. I think it's this. R. Kelly is getting what he's long since I was 10 years old. Like I said, if I was born in 90 and a lot of the girls that he was messing with was not that far older than me, that says a lot about a person that's older than you messing with somebody younger.
Because they're like,
it just make you question like why they think that's cool. Like I know a lot of people that date younger girls, and I know why they date younger girls. Sometimes those men can't handle girls their age.
But look, it goes back to what we said. We need to break the generational curse. Those things was done. He was molested when he was younger, so by a sister. So all it is
a
just
repeated
a cycle that's just repeating. Instead of trying to break it, he continued the cycle.
Exactly, and it's crazy because if you went through that, but in his head he don't believe that it was rape because a lot of these girls consented to the sex. That's why he don't feel like he did anything wrong. The only thing is wrong is under the eyes of the law that you cannot mess with somebody that's underage. If you 28 years old, you shouldn't be messing with somebody that's 14, 15, 16. They're not of age. That's why we have an age limitation. 18 years old, you're considered adult. In the eyes
in Louisiana,
of
it's
no,
17,
in the
right.
consider the eyes of the people, you're
18,
considered
an adult.
Meaning you could do your own. You're old enough to make your own decisions at that point. When you're 16 years old, you're
still a child.
17. 17 not too much, but 16, 15, 14, you don't know nothing about nothing to be saying, yeah, I want this in my life. Because if you did, you wouldn't be messing with R.Kelly. You'll be messing with somebody your age.
Right.
And that's why I say a lot of younger girls mess with older men, because older men are more mature than the boys their age. And that's the same thing why older men mess with younger girls, because girls are mature for their age. Then girls in general are going to be mature at whatever age they is. Not mentally, but mature is how big boobs, breasts, but they're going to be shapely at any age.
Right.
And they're going to act older in any age. You know what I'm saying? But boys tend to stay boys their whole life. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's so many men that find it cool to mess with younger girls. And I think it's more mental, because they can't.
It's a mental thing.
They can't. Some dudes can't contain or be with a person at their age, especially if they smarter than them. Because now it's like you got to have a lot of intellectual conversations, and you might make me as a man feel dumb, and a lot of men don't like to feel dumb, so they're gonna go find younger girls that's already dumb and make them feel smarter. You know what I'm saying? But R.Kelly, you are who you say you are. That's P. Diddy who said that. But man, what other TV got? I know we got a little
I'm
bit.
I'm sure a lot of people have saw this viral Disneyland brutal fight. That happened a couple weeks ago. So now TMZ is reporting that the DA files felony charges against 3 of those adults that were involved in that brawl.
It was only 3 people fighting, though.
So how could you fight in the most happiest place in the world? It's supposed to be, anyway, the happiest place in the world. So 3 adults at the center of an all-out melee at Disneyland this month have been hit with a bunch of criminal charges, and one of them could be serious time if convicted. The fight erupted in Tunein, right in the middle of throngs of kids and families.
I didn't even know it was in Toontown. That's like the first part of the whole amusement park. That's where all of the Disney characters at Goofy,
everybody
Mickey
there.
Mouse.
They greeting you when you walk in.
Yo, ignorant.
So
somebody must ain't pay their whole money for the ticket. That's why they.
You hear one of the people in the fight say, "I'm ready to go to jail tonight." Of course, that was the gentleman that was fighting. That was the main person fighting. The person seems to also reference a Southern California gang. So of course these people may be from California, what they're trying to assume. Just before the fight breaks out, you hear someone in the video talk about disrespecting family. You see a woman spit on the guy in pink, and all hell breaks loose. One of the people charged, 35-year-old Avery Robinson, was the guy in the pink, was hit with 5 felonies for allegedly beating up his girlfriend. He's charged with domestic battery and assault with a deadly weapon. And since his kid was in the middle of the fight along with 3 other children, he's also being charged with child abuse and endangerment. And it doesn't end there. Disneyland security ordered Robinson out of the park, and he allegedly tried hitting a Disneyland's employee with his car and threatened to kill his sister and her husband. He faces upwards of 7 years in prison.
Well, sit. Just go on ahead and sit.
That was just ridiculous.
That's just go on ahead and sit, because all of them charges gonna stick. You know why? Because it don't matter if his sister pressed charges or his girlfriend pressed charges. It was at an establishment, and you on videotape, not just cell phone footage, but park footage.
Got cameras all around their park.
Disneyland wanted to, they could sue all 3 of them. And you could go to jail
for cutting up like that.
And you could get your children taken away from that. You could everybody because Mama had then fell out. Oh my God, when Mama fell, that's what made him fight the girlfriend because he thought Mama pushed her, but Mama did not push her. Mama got bumped and Mama fell.
Ain't nobody bumped her. I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
Mama flew.
She was being very dramatic, and she hit that damn ground like she was just passed out, like she was just, girl.
I don't want to laugh at this, but that's just a prime example. That one video is why I don't support my people sometimes. That's one of the reasons why I don't support my people sometimes.
Act up like that in them people establishment. Y'all know better. It's just certain places that you know you're not supposed to go.
You just don't go
and cut up.
You don't cut up at church. You don't cut up at I was about to say
you just
Six Flags. I mean not Six Flags. Disneyland, and you don't cut up like that.
My thing is y'all spent all of that money to
and
go there, and them people put y'all out their paw.
And I'm telling you, you went. They probably. I think this is why this sparked this whole. Do you know those rides are like an hour wait?
You got to stand in the lines just to get on the damn ride.
So they probably was aggravated, hot,
hungry,
drunk because Disneyland also have a part in there where they sell alcohol.
That's why I'd be at. I wouldn't even be worrying about trying to ride the rides.
And then they probably never went nowhere, and this was their first big family trip, and they probably fussed the whole way there, the whole way to the hotel, the whole way to the park. They didn't like what rides was going on and all that, so that's probably what happened.
Well, guess what? Y'all next family trip, Avery won't be with y'all because he going to be sitting in somebody's jail.
Avery's sister and the baby mama might not be nowhere because they're gonna be spending some time.
Oh,
but
moving along.
Last but not least of this.
Well, this is not the last one.
Oh, okay.
This is second to last.
Okay, second to last.
Ooh.
That was them licks from Avery manifesting his son.
Lamar Odom, Olive Branch to Kardashians. He missed you guys. So Lamar Odom has zero regrets about his reality TV past. In fact, he says the experience was the best part of his adult life, and he desperately wants to repair his relationship with the Kardashians.
Because it funded your cocaine addiction.
39-year-old Odom appeared on TMZ Live and told us how taking up motivational speaking with a company called Mic Drop has become therapeutic for him. He's learning to forgive himself for the mistakes he has made in the past, from drug use to other bad life decisions. One of those mistakes, Odom says, he feels he's failed as a father, but Lamar says he's including his children in his motivational speaking work, and it's bringing his family closer together.
You definitely failed as a father, though.
This is a great way for me to make up the time I lost with them and help them get better as well, Odom said. As for reality TV, there are a lot of people who feel doing a reality show is a recipe for disaster, but Odom says he wouldn't go back and change a thing. Doing reality TV and being married to Chloe, besides having children and besides me doing this motivational speaking that I'm going to start doing, that was the most memorable part of the best part of my adulthood. So there's nothing that I regret about that. And hopefully me going to public speaking can even bring me closer to the Kardashians. He help me rebuild that bridge. Lamar has previously talked about how he will always love Chloe despite the fact that she's moving on, but it seems now he'll settle for a non-romantic relationship. Odom also tells us why he feels surviving that infamous 2015 overdose in Nevada was God's plan, and now he's hoping others will learn from his mistakes.
I think that's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest with you, he do need them in that relationship because they love the Kardashians.
They loved him, especially Kris.
Like, yeah, that was her favorite son-in-law. Like to be honest with you, the Kardashians were better when he was involved. Kourtney was Chloe was a better person when they were together.
And she was happy. She was in love.
She really was genuinely happy.
She loved
I
Lamar.
feel like
she still loves Lamar.
And I do. And then that's why I feel like she going through what she going through with the baby daddy now, because when she was supposed to be that better for worse, she just left him.
Well, she was there at the beginning, but then she just.
I'm gonna tell you when it stopped.
Herself.
I'm gonna tell you when it started. When he got traded from the Lakers to Dallas, that's when I started to see as a player on the court, he wasn't the same person. A lot of players can't deal with change, especially when they're used to being around.
They used to being somewhere for so long.
Like, for example, when DeMarcus Cousins was playing for the Pelicans, DeMarcus Cousins really didn't vibe with the city. That's why when the first chance he got to leave, he left to go back to the West Coast, because that's where he from. He started on the Sacramento Kings, and then he came here, and then he went to the Warriors, and now he with the Lakers. The West Coast is good for him. He know everybody out there is just better way of living. I think that was the same way for Lamar Odom, i.e. that's why he ended up overdosing in Las Vegas, because it's just so much stuff and access to stuff in Hollywood. But like I said, he was a better person when they both was together. And I think that's why she's going through what she went through. Like I said, in my own opinion, had she stayed with her man, help him get through his help, not saying that she had to go through it. She did make ultimately her choice to leave. But still, you get married on better for worse. You ended up with a crackhead. So you should have just, you should have stuck it out, got him help. Like I said, y'all had to get divorced. Y'all could have just separated and been separated and stuff like that. And then when he cleaned himself up now, y'all could rekindle a relationship. I believe, personally, they're going to end up being back together, because
I hope so.
Lamar wasn't a cheater. All he did was cheat on her with crack. Like, that's all he did. He was not out here talking about, and like I said, he was a better person when he was with her
and a part of that family.
Yeah, it's like he always wanted that family. You got to understand, Lamar Odom didn't really have much of family.
Right.
That's why he ended up abandoning his children, because he was abandoned. People learn behaviors. And so that's why he want to get, even if they don't get romantically involved,
like he's good for, like he said, he's good to just be friends, and he could be a part of the family again, and like everybody.
And don't try to downplay him, Chloe, because he got off that crack.
Right, sister, and you going through your own thing right now.
Exactly, because your man stay cheating.
Your cheating ass man.
Your man cheating on your sister with your sister friends. Now that's a whole new low, Tristan. you a little R.Kelly, ain't you? He like them little young tenderonis, huh? But Jordan said she ain't do that. I'm gonna stick to what I know. Said. But I know her ass did something, because she keep getting caught up. Nah, they just caught up with something.
It might have slipped and I'm out on mistake.
She just.
But speaking of the Kardashians, while we are on the Kardashians, our last topic of the evening.
Oh, Lord.
Kim Kardashian shocked by new photo scandal involving family photog. So Kim Kardashian West says she is shocked and saddened by recent allegations against Marcus Hyde by models claiming the photographer tried to bribe them for new photos. Hyde, who was a longtime photographer for Kim and Kanye, has come under fire by numerous women this week. In one alleged DM conversation between Hyde and the model, he asked her for new photos, saying he'd do a shoot with her for free if she sent. When the model refused, Hyde allegedly said the charge would be $12,000 for the shoot. Kim said, "For the situation, my own experiences have always been professional, and I am deeply shocked, saddened, and disappointed to learn that other women have had very different experiences. I stand in full support of every woman's right not to be harassed, asked, or pressured to do anything they are not comfortable with." Kim ends her statement with, "We cannot allow this type of behavior."
We cannot.
Kim ends with this statement, quote unquote, "We cannot allow this." I ain't doing that. We cannot allow this type of behavior to go unnoticed, and I applaud those who spoke out. Hyde also lost his life in he almost lost his life in a car accident.
He just DMing. Boy, that goes some spirit.
Car accident in October of last year when his Mercedes went 200 feet off an embankment. The incident left him in a coma for weeks, and he was seen at Kanye West's Sunday service performance at Coachella for the first time since the incident. Hyde has not yet publicly commented on the alleged, but deleted his Instagram account, of course. So you know it's true.
He did it, or somebody could have hacked him.
That's true too.
And been posing as him, and then he had no other choice. But we're not gonna keep y'all posted with this because that's all on them and them Kardashians. That's what they need to watch who they work with, like R.Kelly and his people.
But baby, who about to pay $2,000 for a photo shoot when the way these iPhones are set up now?
I mean, $2,000 for a shoot is not bad. That's literally the budget for celebrity photo shoots, because you gotta realize.
But no, these girls want celebrities though.
But no, he's a celebrity photographer. So he's like, I could put you on type stuff. So of course he gonna finesse them $2,000 for a big photo shoot.
Well, first he finessed it sending the nudes.
Yeah,
and he was gonna do the shoot for free, quote unquote.
He could have got me. I could have made it something, okay?
Oh, God.
Did a little thing, something for pork chop, like Chingy say.
But that's all I have for What's the Tea this week.
It was piping, but it could have been a little bit better.
Don't blame that on me, because those first 4 topics you put on there.
I'm talking about because the whole R. Kelly thing is definitely something that nobody don't want. I'm so tired of R. Kelly.
But guess what, baby? We're going to be following that story.
We got to, because it's just so entertaining. Yes. But it's been a great episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation about gentrification and stuff. Hopefully, those listening could invest in some property in New Orleans so I could go somewhere and spend some money.
Right, and like we said in the beginning, you guys can give us your 401k on our topics. All you have to do is hit us up on Facebook, post it on our wall at
Yo, what's the word? And Yo, what's the word on Instagram.
And for all you upcoming artists out there, you local artists, send us your music to Yo, what's the word at Gmail.
It's what's the word 504 at gmail.com. He getting it together, y'all.
I'm getting it. So yeah, we would love to play your music, feature your music on our show. So hit us up.
But shout out to everybody that's listening. Shout out to our fans. Shout out to our family and friends that always support. Wow. As always, we love you guys. And you know how you used to say peace and love.
Yes.
To all. And just enjoy your day and hold yourself accountable for the actions that you put into the universe.
Until next week.
Peace.